So yeah, Bone Kickers is done, and what's this urban Gothic? An extremely low-budget cult TV show from the year 2000 that ran for 2 series in the UK on Channel 5, a then newly created terrestrial channel most famous for its football and softcore porn. It's an anthology horror series which until the last episode of Series 1 kept all of its episodes completely separate from each other. The episodes tend to be either amazingly good or amazingly bad, a handful of episodes I would love to see adapted for the big screen. The episodes are about 20 minutes long each, so these reviews won't be as long as my Bone Kickers reviews, unless it gets very, very, very bad, which, now that I think of it, this show is capable of being. Just before I get into the first episode, someone will bring this up at some point in the future if I don't mention it, so here is the intro to this show in its entirety. Yes, it was the basis for my current Hagen Reviews intro, but these edits aren't exactly copied. There's more than a couple of differences. So go to your Hagen DVDs and spit on them because I based my editing on this show's intro. No, wait, that's no good. Buy new copies of my reviews on DVD and then spit on them! No, wait, I haven't released DVDs. Hagen! Release DVDs so people may buy 2 copies, one to spit on and one to keep pristine and watchable. How about no, Hagen? Besides, what the fuck sort of an idiot would buy my reviews on DVD when you could just use a YouTube downloader, get them on your computer, watch them for free, and avoid the adverts on Blip? Just saying. Anyway, on with the review of Episode 1, Dead Meat. Trenchcoat Beardy here is a drug lord selling these hallucinogenic drugs cleverly disguised as either glow stick fluid or reanimating fluid from Reanimator to these guys, Sporty Bastard and Lesbian Ghost from Hex. Then in the next shot, they're running off, big stupid grins on their faces while the drug lord and his men chase after them. They've stolen the drugs, which a guy earlier said was worth £2,000 for what was contained inside that very small vial. This raises some serious questions about the drug lord's operations. Self-respecting drug lords don't let people steal their stuff from under their noses, let them run off without bullet holes, or chase after them themselves. Tisk, you amateur. So then after the intro, we're in an obvious set. No doubt it's an abandoned film lot or a theatre and... oh, no, that's supposed to be a real building. Say what you will about Bone Kickers, when they were meant to be in a building, it usually looked like they were inside a building.
What is this place?
I don't really care as long as Lynch doesn't find us here.
Sporty Bastard and Lesbian Ghost hide in here to get away from the drug lord and his men. It's a clever place to hide. Drug lords and their cronies often can't hear glass shattering. So they wander around the place talking about the drugs, how it's called Angel's Blood, how Timothy Leary screamed the recipe out in his deathbed, and how it's clearly not sold in certain hardware stores. Gotta say, I find this wandering around with raised voices thing pretty dodgy. Anything could be in there. Cultists, vampires, Professor Parton burying a hooker.
I have to say she was very cordial.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we could drop some, maybe have a little highly pornographic sex and find out.
Lesbian Ghost. Apart from Hex, the only other thing I ever saw you in before this was where you played a living lesbian in an episode of Sugar Rush. Do not force me to make you the English Amber Benson. I can kill people every time I don't see you being a lesbian. I swear I can. So Sporty Bastard hears someone moving around. Oh great, it is Parton burying a hooker! So they run away, taking time to run behind the back of the set, and Sporty Bastard trips on something.
Tripped on something.
Hang on, I think I found the skylight. Theo, if I were you, I wouldn't look down.
Oh fuck, Parton's taste has got worse. So Lesbian Ghost isn't just straight, but is also interested enough in the dead body for Sporty Bastard to wonder aloud if she wants to fuck it.
Please tell me you're not entertaining any thoughts.
They decide to leave, try to avoid the drug lord and his men, who are bound to be still searching the area. They find their friend Leon Trotsky here and bring him back with them. Trotsky then looks at the corpse, someone mentions how they're curious about how the man died, and Trotsky then reveals that he knows how to communicate with the dead. Rather like the real Trotsky. By the way, the going off and finding Trotsky and bringing him back was off screen, and Trotsky goes from, a dead body to, let's raise it from the dead, in about 25 seconds. So Trotsky goes to a library and has a talk with Sporty Bastard. Apparently every major religion involves necromancy.
It shows up in every major religion, from Judaism to Sikh, Voodoo. The Christians wouldn't like to admit it, but even Jesus liked to dabble.
He doesn't actually give any evidence to support this. You see, this is where I would have brought up Jesus being dead and then coming back to life, or the Lazarus thing, or the zombies that rose after Jesus' crucifixion, but that's just me.
Which all goes to show that there is nothing more tempting than messing with the dead.
As an atheist, I'm proud to say that I've never been tempted to mess with the dead. You sick bastard, I hope you wear a condom. So Trotsky shows Sporty Bastard the cheap version of the Necronomicon here and explains that it was created by John Dee, who actually was an alchemist in the court of Queen Elizabeth I. So in the context of the story, that piece of paper is about 500 years old, and at that age I'm pretty sure that some idiots off the street would not be allowed to handle it. I'm also pretty sure that it wouldn't be in what looks like a school library.
He could look into the future.
Now shall one king rise up against another, and there shall be bloodshed throughout the whole world, fighting between the devil, his kingdom, and the kingdom of light.
So what's that confusion? Oh, that's just a clip from a Derek Jarman film called Jubilee, where John Dee and Queen Elizabeth I see the future where the UK is a punk/new wave wasteland ruled by fascist record companies. Why did I reference that? I don't know. Seems like a good idea at the time.
Now Dee used fresh corpses to entrap spirits that would bestow any wish he desired upon him.
It sounds like fun.
Doesn't it? And the really jagged thing is, this tells you how.
Yeah, John Dee was an actual person, but he never raised the dead. Do you know how I know this? Because you can't fucking raise the dead! He had his partner stare into crystal balls to contact angels and tried to make the Philosopher's Stone. Or the Sorcerer's Stone if you're from a country with book companies who think you're a moron.
It's amazing what you can find on the interlibrary loan scheme, isn't it?
This is bad comedy.
Then Trotsky's boss comes out, gets rid of Sporty Bastard, and we find out that Trotsky is only holding on to his job because he's having unwilling sex with his boss. This is played for laughs, by the way. So all three of them meet up, and Trotsky has managed to translate John Dee's manuscript and reveals that the only ingredient he can't get a hold of is a drop of blood from a pure heart. It's about now that I'd expect someone to point out that this is rather a long way to go to find out how a man died, especially when they could just tell the cops that the body's there and then bribe the guy who does the autopsy. So they decide that pure heart means virgin, which is bollocks, and they decide to use Sporty Bastard's girlfriend because he's not slept with her yet. I'm not entirely sure that someone's a virgin because their present partner's not slept with them yet. But what the fuck do I know? I only dated a dominatrix. So they talk about how Trotsky wants to use Star Wars figures as voodoo dolls until Mark Hamill threatened to sue him. And then we see this.
Just wanted to see what happened when I did this. Interesting.
Don't you feel better for seeing that? Good. So they decide to bring along Sporty Bastard's girlfriend, who I'm going to call Stepford Wife, even though it's supposed to be their third date tonight, therefore making this officially the only date in any media that I've ever dealt with that is worse than the one in Children of the Living Dead, where they went for a walk in a graveyard during a zombie outbreak.
Now, I know this is a weird place to take a girl on a first date, but I promise by the second date, all these coffins will be relocated.
Do you take all your dates to such lively places?
So they go along with the ritual and all give blood because apparently a certain level of purity of heart can be attained by getting 4 people to give blood. And you can give blood by pressing on a blade and not moving your hand. I'm pretty sure that most knives require movement to cut, and I wonder how long all this crap has taken because that body doesn't look any more rotten.
Look at it. I think we've done it.
Wow, it's changed colour to look like how it would look if someone put red liquid into it. Amazing. So Trotsky gets on his Anton LaVey scarf, says some crap and pours the liquid down the body's throat, and it comes back to life. And only then does he notice that the guy's throat has demonic tattoos on it stating that he sold his soul to some guy with a pitchfork.
I think we've just raised ourselves a piece of hell.
Bet you regret not bribing the autopsy guy now, don't ya? So the dead guy, who looks amusingly like James Carville, attacks and kills Trotsky with a bite. Aha! Now someone's thinking, haha, Hagen was right, there was a vampire in there. But no, he's not a vampire, he just kills you by biting your throat out. So, chase, 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 talk, chase, despair, and then the drug lord bursts into the building and grabs Lesbian Ghost, despite having absolutely no reason to know that she was in there. Wow, that's pretty stupid. And then I wonder, how long has he spent wandering the streets of London looking for her himself, and how much money he's wasted in lost drug lord related work and things. So the ex-body kills the drug lord and magically turns his head into a bad special effect, and Lesbian Ghost stabs him in the chest. It doesn't work, which makes you wonder, if that didn't kill him, how exactly did he manage to die the first time? So Lesbian Ghost is killed off screen, and Sporty Bastard decides to be a big damn hero and follow the ex-body into his basement lair. Stepford Wife follows because she feels like it.
It's the corpse. Straker. Our Straker. This is his temple. Look, he made a deal, we're part of it. He knew the devil would come for him. He knew we'd bring him back.
Apparently Sporty Bastard was informed by the writer, because there's no way in hell he could have worked that out. Hell, I've seen this episode from the start to the end, and I wouldn't have worked that out. So Sporty Bastard stabs the ex-body with a knife, because second and third stab wounds often work where the first one didn't. Or maybe they don't. Then he does this.
Say hi to the flower people.
Listen to what the flower people say.
Now, while you're all laughing at that, I'm not sure if this was a deliberate reference or not, but I'm pretty sure that in Reanimator, the bright green reanimating fluid kills the undead too.
This has to be the worst date I've had in my whole life.
Only barely worse than a trip to a zombie graveyard. So he comes back to life again, gets punctured through the heart, and Stepford Wife and Sporty Bastard have romantic conversations surrounded by the lovely atmosphere of all the dead bodies.
Okay. Kate, no! You can't do this! You can't just die on me!
Yeah, I mean, there's no logical reason for it. Sporty Bastard was battered much more than her, and he's okay to carry her upstairs and try to do the ritual on her. But before he can finish the ritual, he's killed by the ex-body, who's being as impressive as he can, given that he looks like that and sounds like a Cyberman.
Of death, death of life.
I didn't do that transition, by the way. The poor dears haven't got the hang of digital zoom yet. So all four of them are in the library, laughing like idiots, and all get chucked out, and the final few shots reveal that they're now zombies under the power of the ex-body, who apparently is an undead necromancer or devil worshipper with the strength, speed, and killing methods of a vampire, and before we can work out how the fuck that works, the show has ended. This isn't one of the good episodes of Urban Gothic. It's clearly cheap, badly written, the story makes no sense, the actors and characters are unconvincing. Maybe it'll be less embarrassing as a full-length film, but I doubt it. Oh, and in case you were wondering, Trotsky killed the librarian off-screen.
Gregorian monks or Black Sabbath?
The monks. Don't want to incarnate another Ozzy Osbourne.